Fiscal Court to order. I want to ask Magistrate Nate Downey to open us with a word of prayer, and then we'll follow that with the pledge to the flag.
Everybody here, Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for last night's laying down and this early morning rising, Lord. But please continue to bless each and every one all over this land and country. Bless the elected officials from D.C. to our state to our local officials, Lord, and continue to bless all the ones that's in and out of the hospitals over the land and country. Bless our first responders, Lord, our teachers, our administrators, Lord, our elected officials locally, Lord. But please continue to bless this fiscal court in the rightful manner, Lord, and please allow us to be able to make the rightful decision that we have to make, Lord. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So we've got representatives of the Soil Conservation District here today, and I understand, Chad, you're going to be the one that's going to present the budget. And gentlemen, they're here to present, and we'll just acknowledge that we've received the budget today.
Like the judge said, I'm Chad Kono with the Simpson County Conservation District. I think each one of you have a copy of the budget in front of you, correct? Just real quickly, there's not a lot that's changed from last year to this year other than due to some COVID things. We didn't get to work in schools like normally. When you're looking at that balance brought forward, most of that is what we didn't get to use in the schools due to the COVID. There's a $7,500 grant in that figure for dead animal removal. We implemented that here recently to help with dead animal. There's nothing that is there, so we implemented that. When you look at general operating funds, we're asking you all for $80,000. Last year, you presented us $65,000. We've got some things that we're doing more every year, so it requires more money to keep the office open. And as you all know, we explain this every year to you. Most of this money that comes into this board is pass-through money. It's not to be used in our day-to-day operations. It is to go out to the residents of Franklin and Simpson County on different programs, whether it be CAPE. There's a whole list of things that can be done through our office, and that's what that money's for. That pretty much is the budget. I think it's pretty self-explanatory as you go down through there. Do you all have any questions as to the budget?
Gentlemen, do any of y'all have a question?
Not at this point.
I don't.
Okay. The one thing that we are implementing is called the backyard conservation, and that's not on the budget. I'm just telling you all, there's going to be a program called backyard conservation. That's going to go into the cities, to people living in the city and town, things that they can do in their backyards. There's, like we've told you before, it's not just for the farmers, it's for the whole community. There's a lot of things that can be applied for, but if we don't have the money to get Michelle as our admin to do these things, then those things don't happen. And that's the reason we're asking for an increase is the office is busier, and I know you all have several budgets that come before you that you have to balance and make work. But without this money, our office cannot productively work like it needs to work on the state level and on the county level. Any other questions?
No.
Comments?
The only thing I'll say, Chad, of course, Scott's obviously on you guys' board. The only thing I will say is I think as a fiscal court, we all made the obligation to try to incrementally get that up as best we could. Mm-hmm. So we'll do everything we can to get it there.
Okay. We appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank y'all. Do we, Sam, do we have to just note in the minutes that we've received it? We don't need a vote that we've done anything? Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. right, gentlemen, if you had the opportunity to review the minutes of our February 2nd regular fiscal court meeting, we just need a motion and a second to approve those minutes.
Motion made.
Motion by Nate, second by Myron. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, gentlemen, if you had the opportunity to review the minutes of our February 8th special called fiscal court meeting, if there's no corrections or additions, we need a motion to approve those. Motion by Scott.
Second.
I heard Nate, second by Nate. Any other question, discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next is to review and approve the first reading of fiscal year 2021 budget amendment number 8, ordinance number 220.224. And this is, and Nicole may do a better job explaining this, and hopefully I won't get it wrong. This is moving money from surplus to cover our tractor supply occupational tax obligation with the industrial authority. The whole taxing district, but it's all replenished money. We just got to move the money to be able to write the check. Or it's got to be amended into the budget in that area.
We have to pull it from prior surplus right now because our occupational taxes haven't exceeded what we budgeted, but it will. I mean, if you look at your financial statement, you'll see that it's tracking well over. And it's the taxing districts, and it's mainly the transition with various plastics where the industrial authority was receiving that money, now we are. So that money coming into our budget was going to mean that because we're going to be paying more, we're not receiving that credit anymore. It all says it's a wash, but budgeting is around
See, I told y'all she could explain it better than I could.
So after that explanation, I'll make a motion.
All right, we got a motion by Marty to approve the first reading of ordinance number 220.224. Got a second by Myron.
But then I want to ask a question.
All right.
How long was that agreement? Was it 10 years?
Yes.
Okay.
With Barry.
And what year are we in on that?
It finished. Yeah.
Okay. So we have another 10 years of it? Is that what you're saying? Or it ended in 2020?
It ended in 2020.
Okay.
Any other questions or discussion? Pam, we're ready for a roll call.
Marty Chandler,
Yes.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Scott Poston,
Yes.
Nathaniel Downey,
Yes.
Mason Barnes.
Yes. All right, next, gentlemen, should be fairly straightforward. To approve ordinance regarding the sheriff's 4.25% commission for collections of fire subscribers fee. And we would need a motion and a second to pass the second reading of ordinance number 310.25 regarding the Woodburn Volunteer Fire District. Y'all recall we discussed this in our previous meeting, and the reason
We need to do one for each.
we're doing them separate. This is just Woodburn.
Okay. Second.
Who made the motion? Motion by Marty, second by Nate. Any other question or discussion? All right, Pam.
Marty Chandler,
Yes.
Nathaniel Downey,
Yes.
Scott Poston, Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Mason Barnes.
Yes. And then the other one, gentlemen, is the second reading and passage of ordinance number 310.26. This is regarding the Plano Fire District. Same ordinance, same language, same commission, just it's Plano rather than Woodburn. Motion by Scott.
Second.
Second by Myron. Any question or discussion on that one?
Scott Poston,
Yes.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Nathaniel Downey,
Yes.
Marty Chandler,
Yes.
Mason Barnes.
Yes. All right, gentlemen, this next one, we have Mr. Bruce Powell with us today in case you have any questions. But I think this one's pretty straightforward too. Mr. Powell is working to get some higher speed internets available to our county residents, and he's just requested that we grant him easements to our county rights of way along the county roads, and Sam has looked at this. Bobby's good with it. I'm good with it. I wish you was hooking everybody up tomorrow.
It won't be long.
Okay.
You can start north if you want to.
Bruce, is there anything that you want to address? Do you want to address the court on anything, or?
Not unless you have questions, I can tell you.
So basically what we've got is this road easement agreement that we would have to make a motion to approve this agreement, authorize the judge to sign it, and what that does is gives Fastnet the ability to work in the county right of way to install fiber.
I've only got one question, Bruce.
Sure.
The depth, what do you estimate the depth of this cable being?
We like to go at least 3 feet. We have the capability of going deeper. We've recently acquired a drilling boring machine that's got sonar on the end of it that we can guide it. If we see a gas line, we can actually make it go under, but we can go as deep as we want it to. We can go under creeks without.
So you'll probably be below the water lines or
Oh, yeah. We don't like to go back and fix stuff. Yeah, it's going to be deep. And the thing about it too is the equipment we have one machine that's got a blade, it's got a big hammering blade. It'll go 4 feet. And the roll of fibers on the front of it, it goes over the top. It puts it in the ground without actually breaking the ground open. So it's not going to leave a big muddy mess all the way down the roads. The only place we'll have to dig is if we're putting in a vault or something like that.
I know we've talked about this before, and I have absolutely no problem with this. I don't know, do we need to put something in there that he needs to work, that maybe if you were going to do, say, Blackjack Road or whatever, or not Blackjack because it's not a county road, but Salem Road. Say he's going to do Salem Road. Before you do that, could you contact Bobby, show him the plan, and make sure that, we talked about this before. If there's ever a intention of that road being widened or any of these, Cheney Road's an example, we widened that road about 4 foot. Well, if at the time, if you'd put it in the right of way and put it a foot off the road, then later, then the fiber will be under the road. Yeah. So my only thing is, I would really like for you to, before you do it, show Bobby, or whoever publicly announced Bobby, he's doing a good job, I hope he stays there for a long time, but just show that to him.
Sure. And
make sure just in the future, because he may know of a road, that's going to be widened, or there's an intention of a road being widened, and you need to move it over, 2 foot instead of putting it 2 foot from road, it needs to be 4 foot from road. Right. That's the only, I was just thinking for future, just to make sure that there isn't anything.
We've dealt with some of that over in Lyon County too.
Right.
Looking at widening roads.
And you could talk to me about roads in my district, but I wouldn't have a clue what some of the plans for Scott or Myron and Nate would be in their district, so that's the reason I was suggesting talk to Bobby and he would know. Okay. I just don't want you to spend the time and the money it takes to put the infrastructure in if somebody could have showed you something that you could have done, moved it to a different spot and saved you a lot of trouble in the future.
I like the way you think, Marty.
So, I don't know if we need to include that in here, or just know that you need to talk to Bobby just before you do a road.
Sam, does that language need to be included in this agreement, or do we just, because I'm sure one thing that's going to go out before you start digging or boring holes or anything, you're going to have to call that 811 number, and those
Absolutely,
notifications are all going to go out.
Yeah, if we don't, then we're
of course, we're not on, I don't imagine we're on that notification list.
No, and one thing, I know Bobby has we did this with water lines. Water lines, they talked about putting them so deep, and Bobby wanted to know where they were going to put those if it was real close to the road, because if they ditch it, if it's here now and they have intentions of putting in a ditch that's a foot deep, well, that automatically changes your depth a foot. So if you're wanting to be 3 foot, you might need to go 4. I'm just thinking of things that has happened in the past with utilities, and I was just trying to make it where it be as beneficial to you as possible.
I appreciate that.
So you wouldn't have any problem contacting Public Works to coordinate all that?
No, sir.
So, I mean, I have no problem with granting this easement. In fact, I'd like to make it as easy as I can for anybody that's willing to put some fiber into rural residents.
I'll also move on this.
Second.
Got a motion by Marty, second by Nate. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Bruce, we'll get you a signed document ASAP.
If there's anything we can do to help you, let us know.
Yeah, do you, this is the final document. And I'll get my signature on it after this meeting, Bruce, and we'll get you a copy of it.
Be a good day to start on it.
I was just thinking that.
Tomorrow, too.
Yeah, it'd be a good day for him to start, because he'd need to clean the snow off the roads and everything to get to it.
Gentlemen, Bruce, thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Bruce.
Hey, I want to say here too, I appreciate your willingness to make that kind of investment in Simpson County.
We've been wanting to for a long time, wasn't sure both the plant board and water electric was doing it.
I think we got to be more concerned about the federal government.
Yeah.
But
We first did in August of 2009 here in the county. We never raised prices, but we always try to keep raising bandwidth.
because you're going to have the ability to offer up to 1 gig service with this, right? Yeah.
We have a 1 gig for $99.95.
Yeah.
You may not be able to say, but can you say where your first area you're looking at?
I'll say we're looking at, we want to shore up our main tower out on Rapids Road. We have a lot of customers out there. Probably now, Rapids Road is a state road. We have to have another line of permission for that. But probably John's Loop around in there, and then out the Hickory Flat area.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Yeah. No.
We gotta ask all the time.
Yeah. We appreciate.
Coming out my way, we're ready. In the North District, where I get most of it is.
He's nowhere close to John's Loop.
Oh, yeah. I'll show you where it needs to go. Come see it.
Bruce, all kidding aside, we greatly appreciate your willingness to make that investment.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yes, sir.
Thank you much.
Thank you, man.
Next, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review the Industrial Authority land purchase waivers, we need to approve that. This is something that I guess one of these, we have an interlocal agreement. I think you guys have a copy of the interlocal agreement here, and there's a paragraph in there that the county, when those properties sell, the county has the ability to waive the sale proceeds in order that the industrial authority would keep those to do infrastructure and road improvements with that money in those industrial parks. And a couple of land purchases have gone through that I guess kind of got biased, one of them all the way back to 2018, you see. So you see the letter that's proposed to waive this from these two sales. So I need a motion in a second, and then we could open up discussion.
So moved, Mason.
So we got a motion to approve the waivers. You want to add to that, authorize the judge to sign those waivers? We got a motion by Myron, second by Marty. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, gentlemen, next is, let me see if I'm really going to have to get to where I can figure out how to operate bifocals. All right, next is an ordinance number 220.225 addressing jail inmate fees. This would be a first reading of that ordinance. And I had a request from the jail that if we pass this ordinance to make the effective date July 1 of 2021, so it would go with the fiscal year.
I think that's a good idea.
So, and I have no problem with that. But what this will do, the processing fee is currently $55. This ordinance would establish that by ordinance. The daily charge is currently $30, and this would set it at $50 by ordinance. And the reason for the ordinance, the best we can tell, when we look back, there was an ordinance done in 2001 that established these fees, and so we figured to change the fees, we need to do so by ordinance.
So,
All right, second?
Motion by Marty, second by Nate. Any question or discussion?
Marty Chandler,
yes.
Nathaniel Downing,
Yes.
Scott Poston.
Yes.
Myron Thurman,
Yes.
Mason Barnes.
Yes. All right. Next, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review the budget transfers, we'd need a motion and a second to authorize those transfers.
So move.
Motion by Nate,
Second.
second by Myron. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, gentlemen, is to review, if you had an opportunity to review, is to approve a cash transfer of $19,102.42 from the federal grant fund to the general fund. And I believe, Nicole, did you say this is like some HIDA and COPS grant money? Yeah. So it has to go from that federal grant fund to the general fund to be able to utilize that money for the sheriff's office.
And then budget transfers, there's several of those that the sheriff related to take that money from federal grants, the appropriations from federal grants to the sheriffs.
Okay.
So we've already approved the budget transfer, so we probably ought to authorize the cash transfer.
So voted, Mason.
I got a motion by Myron and a second by Scott. Any question or discussion about that? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Gentlemen, finally here, if you had an opportunity to review the bills and claims, we would need a motion and a second to approve those claims.
Motion made.
Motion by Nate. Second by Scott. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Being it's a special called meeting, we do have reports on here, so we can give reports. The only thing we can't do from the report would be any action items. We can't bring up anything that would require a vote. I guess I could defer to you guys because my name being at the top of the list on the reports puts y'all at an unfair advantage to say thank you to the road crew and all the people that's helped move snow and salt. And I know that every one of us sitting here share that sentiment, that these guys have worked tirelessly, and we've had countless farmers, and you guys can elaborate on that, but I really appreciate the effort that's being put in to try to get things back to normal. We had a guy in that moved here from New York. I hope he watches this video. And I told him, I said, listen, buddy, you're not living in New York anymore. This is Kentucky. 3 inches of snow messes us up. And so it's a big deal. So, and it takes a lot of people to get
3
it.
inches of snow wouldn't be bad, but this
It's
2
ice.
inches of ice
It's ice.
wasn't bad.
That's right. So I know y'all all share that same sentiment, but I'll let y'all speak to that. That's all I want to say.
You know, what you said on the, thanking everybody, I've had 2 or 3 text me, I'm taking care of this road, and tell the road department, and I appreciate all that, but I also appreciate, it seems like everybody's having as much patience as possible with it. I mean, I know everybody wants to get out, and they've been home for 1, maybe 2 days, and it's just like they're going crazy or something, but.
They may be home for 2 more after tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to get any better, it doesn't look like, but everybody needs to realize it just takes time. We got, 350 miles of roads in the county, and they don't have enough equipment to keep every road every minute, so, just have patience, and if you live on a dead end road like I do, they'll get there when they can get there.
Yep. Nate?
Yeah, but the only report that I would have is about the Boy and Girl Club. They're gonna be, well, they're working with the school system as far as opening back up. And it seemed like that, I heard this morning that the school is gonna go to, I think, a 4-day week now, starting, I think, March the 8th. So, and I'm assuming that that's gonna be the date that the Boy and Girl Club is gonna open up for. They're gonna try to at least start out between 100 to 150 kids, you know, and that's a lot less than what they normally would have, but under the condition, they're gonna start out between 100 and 150 kids.
Will it be roughly about 50% of what they typically do?
Right, yes, yes. Yeah, so, and then, you know, they're looking good down there. Financially, you know, we're getting people to really donate money in down there, so financially, we're starting to get on our feet so we can do more stuff for the kids.
Good.
You know, and just like the rest of you all said, you know, I want to thank the road crew and everybody else that's been pitching in. Because it's like someone told me this morning, one big advantage that a small town have over big cities is, you know, people tend to come together more. You know, like the farmers, because I live out in the country, and I've seen the farmer go up and down the road, scraping the roads off, you know, and then the county would come along behind them, you know. So our roads are looking a lot better than some of the streets in town. And then someone told me this morning that Bowling Green roads don't look near as good as our roads. So that just says a lot about a small town atmosphere.
Yeah, true.
That's it.
Scott?
I would echo what these guys said, Marty and Myron. They were out there doing their part for sure. And all the soil conservation folks, I know they were out there too. I thank them and anybody else out there that has done it. I just appreciate all you do. Sheriff's Department, all the police, state, you guys be careful. If anybody's out on the road, respect them. We sure don't want anybody hurt. So, thank you. That's it.
It's all been said.
You know, you got enough
But I
tractors.
would like to thank Public Works
You
again.
got enough tractors, you could drop me and Scott and Nate off for them, we could help y'all out.
Come on.
I would like to say, I don't know if y'all have experienced in y'all's district, but the state has not done nowhere near the job they have been doing in the past on Gold City Road, Temperance Road, 622. They got to, but for 2 days, or for the first day and a half, they would drive to Gold City store and turn around. They would not take it, they would not clean the Gold City Road off to the state line, or to the county line, nor would they go to the Warren County line. They would turn around at Gold City and come back. There's a lot of people live on and drive on 622.
We've noticed that out our way. They'll just go so far and then turn around.
But Warren County was coming all the way down to the Warren Simpson line. But so from Gold City to the Warren Simpson line, there wasn't basically anything done for about a day and a half, and that's not good on the road that's traveled that much. So you talk to anybody at the state, just encourage. I know they have I-65, but I-65 isn't on the road we need to worry about.
Myron, did you have anything else?
No, I'd say.
All right. Gentlemen, what I need to do now, if I could, I need to have a motion and a second to enter into executive sessions according to KRS 61.810, paragraph 1B, deliberations on the future acquisition of real property by public agency, but only when the publicity would be likely to affect the value of a specific piece of property to be acquired for public use or sold by a public agency, and KRS 61.810, paragraph 1G, business discussions between a public agency and a representative of a business entity and discussions concerning a specific proposal if open discussions would jeopardize the siting, retention, expansion, or upgrading of the business.
Motion made.
Got a motion by Nate,
Second.
second by Marty. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, we will adjourn ourselves to the back